if you're a God-fearing Filipino and you are not into something which is destructive to your fellow men, you have absolutely nothing. I will die for you.
Heavily armed members of the military's 103rd Riverine Unit prepare to engage the enemy in the water. A composite team is closely guarding Lake Lanao as Maute fighters try to escape the war zone using small boats. Just before going on patrol, Maute fighters on the other side of the lake fire at the troops. The army immediately shoots back. The military is pressing forward to the nerve center of the terrorists holding out in Marawi, forcing the enemy to find a way out through Lake Lanao. The Naval Task Unit says the Maute has been using the lake to escape and provide supplies to its fighters.
Meron rin mga dyan, yung nag-attempt na mag-escape, especially several bangkas from the Maute groups. Then meron rin yung gustong nag-attempt rin na mag-reprovision ng bala at saka magdagdag ng tao nila sa loob dun sa Marawi City. So majority naman sa mga report na action na natin lahat.
With over 35,000 hectares of surface area covering 2 provinces, the lake is a challenge to secure for authorities. That is why the military is reinforcing its water assets. The naval unit sank a boat carrying terrorists attempting to get out of the battlefield. It captured 2 other boats with Maute rebels on board, killing 3 and wounding 1. All roads going in and out of Marawi City are heavily guarded by government forces, so the terrorists are opting to use the lake, some even swimming their way out.
Meron mga reports, saka may mga encounter yung ating tropa na nandyan sa lake. Yun nga, pinagbabawal na namin na yung mga ordinaryong bangka kasi pag nandyan yung mga bangka, suspected na sila kagad. Kasi yun yung ginagawa nagka-camouflaging yung ating mga kalaban
The military is clearing other coastal towns surrounding Lake Lanao to make sure enemies do not get away. In Marawi City, Camille Abadisho, CNN Philippines.
A police anti-drug unit recovers 2 kilograms of shabu and other drug paraphernalia from the house of former Marawi City Mayor Omar Ali Solitario. During a house-to-house search in Barangay Bangon in Marawi Friday morning, authorities stumbled upon the 2 kilos of shabu at Ali's house, previously occupied by Maute fighters. The PNP says there were also indications of drug use. He notes it's common knowledge Solitario backs the Maute group.
We conducted a house-to-house search along Lakeside, Barangay Bangon, Marawi City. Former Mayor Omar Ali Solitario is a known supporters of the Maute group and nasa high-value target siya. Nakabukog ng Maute yun, yung bahay na yun.
President Rodrigo Duterte has tagged Ali last year as one of the local government officials involved in the illegal drug trade.
The bomb run started early today, and these have been happening for the past few days. We are receiving reports from the troops on the ground that there's heavy fighting on ground zero as we speak. There are reports of wounded soldiers since the heavy fighting yesterday, but we have yet to verify the number and the injuries that they got. I'm now here about 2 kilometers away from the war zone. The last numbers that the military released is that there are 66 soldiers killed in action and about 268 Maute terrorists killed. Again, I'm here this is less than 2 kilometers away from the war zone, and behind me there are actually areas where you see thick black smoke coming out. The military says that the terrorists have started using fuel bombs and LPG improvised explosive device, and this is what's causing all of these the fire in the 4 barangays still occupied by the Maute terrorists. And actually the smoke that we have seen today is actually worse than what we've been seeing for the past few days. And the military says we expect more intensified attacks right now. I don't know if you can hear it, there's an aircraft hovering over the war zone, dropping bombs on the area still held by the mounted terrorists.
You can see the live video, Camille. But how many hostages are still in the hands of the mounted group?
The latest information that we got is that there are still over 100 hostages with the mounted group, and they're using mosques as their logistical hubs where they hide some of their hostages. And they also used some of the hostages as manpower. They asked them to, wear their uniform and to lay bombs or IEDs on the ground to fight the soldiers.
You said you're 2 kilometers away from the war zone. Stay safe, Camille. Camille, authorities are validating reports that 89 suspected foreign terrorists are in Mindanao. During today's Mindanao Hour, presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella said these fighters might have entered the Philippines through backdoor channels in Mindanao via Indonesia or Malaysia. These two countries have recently entered into an agreement to conduct joint maritime patrols with the Philippines. The palace believes the recovery of shabu from the house of a former Marawi mayor reveals the ties between the illegal drug trade and the ongoing rebellion in Marawi City. In today's Mindanao Hour, presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella noted former Marawi Mayor Omar Salitario Ali is one of the local government officials named by President Rodrigo Duterte as allegedly involved in the drug trade. His name is also included in the arrest order of the Defense Department in connection with the Marawi crisis. A police anti-drug unit recovered 2 kilograms of shabu and other paraphernalia from Ali's house. This was during a house-to-house search in Barangay Bangon in Marawi yesterday morning. Ali's house was previously occupied by mounted fighters.
We conducted a house-to-house search along Lakeside, Barangay Bangon, Marawi City. Former Mayor Omar Solitario is known along Lakeside, Barangay Bangon, Marawi City. Former Mayor Omar Solitario is known supporters of the mounted group, and nasa high value target siya. Nakabukod ng mounted yun, yung bahay na yun.
The country's so-called Islamic city, ironically, will not be celebrating Islam's most joyous occasion. Instead of festive gatherings, residents of Marawi will spend the weekend away from home, for many at evacuation camps and temporary shelters. There will be no overflowing food, fun music and dancing, or sharing of gifts, only mourning and suffering with no end in sight.
Ito ang pinaka malungkot na aid na maidadaraos namin. So kahit na malungkot, ang importante makapanalangin kami sa Diyos na talagang mawakasan na itong paghihirap ng mga Marawinian.
Idil Fitir comes a month after Marawi came under siege by radical Islamic militants. It remains unclear when the fighting will stop, but the military says it has made significant gains. For one, it foiled the so-called Grand Plan, militants setting up an Islamic caliphate and ruling over Marawi.
Hindi sila nagtagumpay. 92 barangays are already cleared. Okay? May semblance of governance na tumatayo na yung ating mga iba't ibang ahensya sa kanilang mga humanitarian activities.
While the Muslim world celebrates Idil Fitir, Marawi will be in deep reflection.
We're not only dealing with the mounting group in the Abu Sayyaf, we're also fighting a war against extremism.
Even when the crisis ends, Marawi will have to come to terms with why it happened in the first place. Did the city unwittingly allow violent radicalism to come in? Should Marawi take all the blame? Local officials say the militants exploited the deep-seated grievances of Moros over historical injustices against them. But they failed to get the full support of the people because officials insist Maranaos know better.
Ngayon ba ay kinukuha sa amin ang aming mga religion, kinukuha sa amin ang aming mga lupain, kinukuha sa amin, ginagahasa ba ang mga babae sa amin? Hindi naman eh.
With the fighting the increase of extremism, we also need to finally address the issue of moral problem, the moral question.
President Rodrigo Duterte is set to sign the draft bill of the Bangsamoro Basic Law next week. Bill proponents have long warned failure to pass the BBL could fuel extremism in Mindanao. It remains to be seen now if the new BBL can prevent another Marawi or if it's a deal that's too little, too late. In Marawi City, David Santos, CNN Philippines.
Mas mahigpit na seguridad ang pinaiiral ng mga otoridad sa mga daungan at iba pang maaaring pasukan ng mga dayuhang terorista. Bukas naman ang pamahalaan sa mga tulong na iniaalok ng ibang bansa para tuluyang masupil ang mga teroristang grupo na naghahasik ng karahasan sa Marawi City. Si Marita Muajes sa report.
Ito ang tamang pagkakataon para magkaisa ang sambayanang Pilipino upang labanan ng terorismo at ipagtanggol ang ating kultura. Panawagan ni Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella sa ginanap na Mindanao Hour dito sa Davao City.
One of the lessons we can take away from this situation in Mindanao is that we have people coming from the outside because they believe in a strong narrative. They have a very strong story that they want to establish a province in Southeast Asia and specifically in the Philippines. I believe this is also in a sense a wake-up call for Filipinos to be able to come together and begin to believe that we have a higher narrative aside from our local, regional, personal interests. I think it's high time that we continue to build up on our values, family values, and also higher values, and also go back to the fact that what we are really, like the good secretary said earlier, we are actually defending. And what are we defending? We're really defending the Filipino way of life.
Kasabay nito, iniulat ni Abella na patuloy pa rin ang clearing operations ng mga militar at ang pagliligtas sa mga naipit na sibilyan sa lugar. Sa datos, sa 26 na sibilyan na ang napatay ng mga terorista. Mahigit 1,600 na ang nailigtas na sibilyan, 280 rebelde na ang napapatay, 278 na-recover na armas, 69 na sundalo ang napatay at 85 buildings ang na-clear na. Mahigit 71,000 pamilya naman ang naapektuhan ng nagpapatuloy na kaguluhan sa Marawi. Umabot na rin sa 105 bilyon na augmentation fund ang naibigay na ng Department of Social Welfare and Development Central Office sa kanilang mga field offices sa Region 7, 10, 12 at Caraga. Bukod pa ito sa mahigit 89 na bilyong halaga ng mga food at non-food items na ipinamamahagi ng DSWD. Sa ngayon ay pinapaigting ng pamahalaan ng seguridad sa mga seaports sa mga lugar na maaaring pasukan ng mga foreign terrorists. Magdadagdag din ng mga marine patrols, maglalagay ng immigration officers sa bawat islands at hahanapan ng dokumento ang lahat ng mga pumapasok sa bansa. Dagdag nito, 8 foreign terrorists na ang sinasabing napatay ng mga militar sa Marawi. Sa ngayon ay bukas ang pamahalaan sa mga foreign assistance na iniaalok sa atin para malabanan ang mga terorista, basta't nakalinya pa rin sa independent foreign policy ng bansa. Mula dito sa Davao City, para sa Bayan, Marita Muajes.